What do you do to keep up with the industry?
That's a good thing to know. There are, well, the phrase trade journal, nobody opens a magazine anymore. There are sites you can go out to where you can learn the latest in IT and where things are going. Now, granted, that doesn't mean you always want to just jump up and try to learn new technology while you're working during the day in an existing one. But there are ways you can teach yourself new stuff. For example, and I think I've told you this before, anybody who would want to get any experience working in the cloud, look, the three big cloud players, Microsoft, Google, AWS, they're not that much different from each other. You might call it this in one cloud, and you might call it this in another, but the similarities of what it does are the same. So you could learn any one of those, and I think be able to translate the skills. You know, if you learned AWS, but somebody in Google Cloud wants to hire you, you could pick it up awfully fast, okay? Nice thing with AWS, you can open up a free account and you can learn on there for free. You can run things on there for free. If you've got a free account, then it's like, well, we'll let you run things over here, but you're going to be kind of limited. You know, it's like, well, if you're paying for it, we'll give you this big of a backyard. Exactly. If you're not paying for it, you get this big of a backyard, but you can still play in it, okay? If you want a bigger one, you'll have to pay for it. But if you want to do everything free, you can, and you can start learning how to work in a cloud environment and start and the great thing is, like with AWS, once you start learning it, if you take some certification tests and get them passed, and that says you know this body of knowledge, and it will open up doors. One of the big certifications is called a cloud architect. And they also have a thing called an associate cloud architect. And there was a fellow that was working on my team. He got his associate cloud architect certification, and the next day, I mean, he goes out and he posts on his LinkedIn profile. He has that. The next day, he's getting swarmed with offers, and big money too, because they're looking for people who understand that stuff. And he left the company and went somewhere.
that was my next question.
He went to where the grass was greener, and I hope he's happy they're doing it. But there are ways. That's one way to stay up with it, trying to see where trends are. And then you have to try and figure out what's the best tools to learn for what I'm trying to do. For example, data analytics is real big right now. Okay. Now you could go to school and learn about data analytics. You could self-study and so forth. And then what tool works best with what that's trying to achieve? Data analytics is the idea of how do I take and wade through data and find patterns and so forth. And there's a language I learned of recently. It's called R, the letter R. But it is geared towards making data analytics simpler.
Okay.
I mean that's the whole reason new tools come out.
Yeah, of
is
course.
to make doing the same thing simpler. I can remember back in my mainframe days, and somebody said to me, you know, I read an article where the day will come where you'll just put boxes on a screen and connect them with lines, and that'll be coding. No keyboard? I mean, and I couldn't envision how it worked. I do that now. I mean, there's more to it than just boxes and screens.
Of course.
But, I mean, there's more in the background. But really, and the development is much quicker because the boxes are components that do certain functions, and you know what that function is. I need a sort record, so I'll pull a sort component. It's a box, has the word sort in it. I mean, it's just it's faster, it's pretty easy. You know, in the old days, you'd get a stack of computer code, you'd have to read through it and take all day to figure out what's doing. This is much simpler because you can just look at it and kind of see the flow of logic. So that tool is developed to make development faster, quicker, and handle a whole lot of